Have you ever wondered what could go wrong in a simple traffic stop? Stick around today, folks, because we're diving into what not to say to cops. In this video, I'm going to tackle a simple recurring issue in the public: what not to say to police officers during an encounter. Obviously, it's important to know your rights, but it's more important to remain calm and keep your cool in these situations. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a game changer. No one wants to find themselves saying something that could escalate a simple traffic stop into a nightmare, right? Let's break it down and make sure you're prepared for any interaction you might have with law enforcement. Let's talk about some common scenarios where this might arise. Picture this: you're driving home late at night and you get pulled over. You might feel nervous and blurt out something like, "I wasn't doing anything wrong." Guess what? That can come off as defensive. And a lot of officers, this will raise their suspicions and it will begin to ask you more and more questions. Or how about this one? You stop for a minor traffic infraction and you decide to ask the officer, "Do you really have to write me a ticket?" Your intentions may be harmless, innocent, or you're just looking for a break, but a comment like that can come off as confrontational. Starting a confrontation or saying something that could be perceived as confrontational is not going to win you over with the police. So I want to talk about some real life examples. There was this case, somebody was pulled over for a broken taillight, and they simply said, "I know my rights. You can't search my car." Now, it's great that the gentleman knew his rights. However, the officer might feel challenged, and if they think you're hiding something, they could decide to search your car anyway. All they need is reasonable suspicion, and they can use your behavior to claim they had reasonable suspicion to believe there may be some criminal activity. Another classic example is when people think they can talk their way out of trouble by saying, "I'm friends with the mayor. I have family members in law enforcement." That's typically not going to help. There have been lawyers and judges who have been arrested trying to use these same lines. The officers, they're really out there just trying to do a job. They encounter dozens of people weekly, hundreds monthly that they don't know, have never seen before, and have no interest in helping or harming other than making sure the laws are being abided by. Trying to catch a break because you know somebody, that's not the way to go. And the next one is a big one. It's the dreaded, "I know what you're doing." Telling this phrase to an officer is confrontational. So simply don't say it. It's easy to say the wrong thing in a moment of panic, but those words can have real consequences. We're all human, and in a moment of panic or nervousness, we can say things that have serious consequences. The best thing to do is provide only the information you're required to provide. Your name and address, and if you're in a vehicle, registration and proof of insurance. After that, you can invoke your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. Even if you're nervous, you can say, "I plead the Fifth." Blabbering on and on, or trying to talk your way out of it, or becoming confrontational, becoming rude, none of these things are going to help you if you're having an issue with law enforcement. So keep this in mind, people. Every interaction with a cop is different, and how you speak can either calm the situation down or make it worse. So now that we've talked a little bit about what not to do, let's talk about what you should do if you're stopped by law enforcement, whether on foot or in a vehicle. First and foremost, Stay calm and collected. Take a deep breath before you speak. When the officer approaches, greet them politely. A simple hello, officer, goes a long way. I recall a few years back when I had a law office in New Orleans, I would go to New Orleans once or twice a week to run that office. And one evening, I'm on my way back, and a police officer pulls me over. He says I'm speeding. Honestly, I don't know if I was or wasn't speeding. I'm just cruising, trying to get home. New Orleans is about an hour from where I live. So anyway, the officer comes to the car. He immediately starts screaming in my ear. Where are you going? Why are you speeding? You didn't see me on the side of the road with another car? And I was like, no, I really didn't. And I see you have car seats in there. There better not be any babies in the car. No, sir, there are no babies in the car. I'm just leaving work. You need to slow down. I don't know where you're going. I don't know what you're doing, but don't pass by me speeding. And I have my lights on, stopping another vehicle. I said, sir, just trying to get home. I had a long day at work. I want to get home to my family, just like you probably want to be done with what you're doing and getting home with your family. As you can see, you're loud and yelling and screaming at me. I'm not doing that to you. If I was speeding and you say I was, that's fine. We can deal with that. But I stayed calm and I was polite the entire time. And I'll never forget, this guy's demeanor actually changed. He went from being a rude guy banging on my window to calm and understanding that he was actually the one escalating the situation. And ultimately, when the event was over, he didn't even give me a traffic ticket. I think he realized the error in his ways, gave me a warning, and let me go. So remember that, people. Stay calm. It'll go a long way. Next, it's crucial to listen carefully to what the officer is saying. If they ask you a question that you're required to answer, answer them clearly and honestly without volunteering any unnecessary information. That means don't start rambling about your life story or how great of a citizen you are or where you're going on vacation next week or where you're going out tonight. Don't volunteer anything other than what's required. Stick to the facts. Provide your name, address, proof of insurance, and registration if you're in a vehicle. After that, shut your mouth. That's the safest and best thing you can do. And if you're unsure about something, it's okay to say, I'm not sure about that, sir. This tends to show that you're not trying to evade the situation. You're not trying to lie. You don't recall. And at some point, if you're on the side of the road or on the side of a highway, being stopped by an officer, and it appears that it's taking much longer than it should, you have the right to ask, am I free to leave? Just do it politely. If you're free to leave, the officer should let you go. If he or she tells you you're not free to leave, even if you believe you are free to leave, don't try to leave. Just wait it out and keep a cool head. Lastly, folks, if things begin to escalate and you feel it's going south, the best thing you could say is, I'd like to speak with a lawyer. This should signal to the officer that you're no longer interested in talking to him or her without legal representation. And you can repeat this quote as many times as necessary. I'd like to speak with a lawyer. I have nothing further to say without the presence of a lawyer. The key takeaways here are: don't be defensive. Avoid confrontational language. And always know your rights. The way you communicate can greatly impact the outcome of your interaction with law enforcement. Keep in mind that a little courtesy can go a long way. You don't want a simple traffic stop to become a dramatic scene. So keep these tips in the back of your pocket for when you need them, and stay safe out there. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you've ever had an uncomfortable encounter with law enforcement, I'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. If you found this information helpful and have more questions about your rights in personal injury cases or criminal defense cases, don't hesitate to reach out. Also, you may want to check out the video up top, Know Your Rights, a guide to constitutional freedoms. At our firm, Daniels in Washington, we're here to fight for you. If you need to talk to us, check out the description below. There's a link you can click to schedule a call today. And remember to like, subscribe, and share this video so others can stay informed about their legal rights too. Protecting your future starts with knowing your rights, so let's take that first step together. Stay tuned.